and welcome to another Punk 5 Pop video. I am Punk 5. Today, apparently, Tyra Banks had to go on social media to apologize for very old videos and for not being inclusive enough on America's Next Top Model. A black lady, a black woman, was not inclusive enough on her show. How the hell does that work? Let's find out. So we got the article here. Tyra Banks admits we messed up on America's Next Top Model's mission to be inclusive. Now, my ex-girlfriend and I watched a lot of America's Next Top Model. It made her happy. She enjoyed it. I went along with it. You know what I noticed a lot of in America's Next Top Model? Friggin' rainbow of skin tones and colors and ethnicities and backgrounds. It's a cornucopia of people and skin. All the skin and all the skin colors. No, some of those episodes felt almost pornographic. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube, or will the algorithm stick things where the sun don't shine on me? We'll find out. So, Tyra Banks had to come out with this statement today. I was trying to push boundaries, but was also torn to try to make sure that these girls could work. The former model and current Dancing with the Stars host said of her work on the show months after her disparaging critiques of one winner's tooth gap during a 2006 episode re-emerged on social media. 2006. I was still in friggin' high school when this happened. This was what? God, 14 some odd years ago? Too tired for the math, but this was almost 2 decades ago, people. And now you're all like, no, you need to apologize. You monster. How dare you? Oh, Twitter, you rot my brain harder than friggin' Hollywood itself. Because I'm sorry, but let's just be honest. Let's just be real honest with each other. A model with a very noticeable tooth gap is gonna have a hard time finding work. I imagine, I haven't even read this whole article. I try not to before I film. I'm willing to bet what Tyra was telling her is that you need to get some braces like Invisalign to push that gap closed, because you are a model and sometimes you do have to show your smile with full teeth, and you're going to have a very difficult time getting work with a gap like that. Is it an awful situation? Sure, but that's fashion. And there's nothing Tyra Banks can do about it other than just be honest with this woman. What's she supposed to do? Pat him on the head and be like, oh, look at the little baby. No. We're grown-ups, for God's sakes. We can take criticism. So there were a whole bunch of things that Tyra Banks and other members of the America's Next Top Model team got wrong when it came to the show's diversity and inclusion efforts. Where? God. Former model and host said during her Wednesday appearance on the Tamron Hall show. Never even friggin' heard of this. We were still operating in a world. I was still a model at the time, not a retired model yet. Oh, Tyra, why did you retire? Whew! I could say some things there that would definitely get me in trouble with YouTube. And still operating in this world that had so many rules, because fashion does have a lot of rules. You can't dress or look however you want and be a successful model. When asked about criticism of some of her work on the show, it was this awful push and pull that we all had, because you were actually trying to find the most talented model possible for these shows, and to do that you have to actually not focus on their skin color. You can hear half of Twitter screaming in terror right now at the very thought of that. But I'm sorry, that's how it is. You go for the most talented person, not their skin color, which is racist. Banks went on to say that there were different categories of the things we messed up, and that the show did a whole bunch of things that we did mess up. Banks attributed the show's mistakes to her effort to break barriers while trying to avoid damaging contestants' careers. Oh my God, that horrible witch. She was actually trying to put these women's careers ahead of wokeness. How bloody dare she? How dare you, Tyra Banks? Wokeness comes first. Doesn't matter if these women's careers fail spectacularly. No one cares about that part. Shit. Trying to push boundaries, but was also trying to try to make sure that these girls could work, so it was a balance. It was like, oh, break beauty bears, but yeah, I can break them all I want on the show, but they'll graduate from the show and they won't work, which is true. I'm sorry, Twitter, but your little safe space is not real life. It is not reality. These girls could not go from some super woke, gotta be all-inclusive, all-diverse, all-the-time show, go out into the real world, and expect it to be the same. It would have punched them in the throat the second they got out there. So these comments are come out following a social media criticism of Banks earlier this year after a recommendation she made about a contestant during a 2006 episode of a reality TV show, no less, that resurfaced and went viral because everyone's just looking for something to be angry and cancel someone for. In the trending clip, the new Dancing with the Stars host questioned Cycle 6 winner Danielle Evans' decision not to undergo dental work. Like I said, she just Invisalign. Her invisible braces would have closed the gap, would have increased her ability to get work probably 5-10 fold. I mean, I've known people who work in low-end modeling and being movie extras, and there is a standard. You're not gonna get away from it. People want to look at hot, almost perfect specimens of the human race. Is it screwed up and sexist in a lot of ways? Sure. Ain't gonna change, but yeah, no, it's bad. Suck it up, children. So apparently she said, do you really think you can have a CoverGirl contract with a gap in your mouth? Which, let's just real fast, let's pull up CoverGirl. CoverGirl models. Pull up some pictures here. I'll be the first to admit, a lot of times you don't have to show your actual teeth. I get kind of smile, but there will be times you're going to be on a red carpet, you'll be at a premiere, you're going to be at something, my internet is just going to fall apart on me right now. But even right here, see, teeth. Can see your teeth. Look at the teeth, everyone. Remember these? The bones in your mouth? You have to show those when you're a model. And if there's a big old gap, you're gonna, unfortunately, be seen in the fashion world like some kind of southern redneck with no class or ability. Sorry, that's just how it is. The America's Next Top Model creator and executive producer told Evans after the young model refused to have the gap in her teeth closed by a dentist. Banks later apologized on Twitter for the statement. Yeah, Maybe it's Google that broke. Did you break Google? Oh my god. Alright, sorry about that. I guess we won't be seeing a bunch of super pretty women in this video. Besides Tyra Banks, who look! Teeth! Good God, children. You make my head hurt. You really do. See, she said, I had model agents here saying, these three girls could really work, but this must change. So there was a whole behind the scenes thing happening, Banks elaborated. Instead of me saying, you must change this on TV, I think what I should have said is No! Don't just downplay it. If you have actual industry agents, modeling agents who are looking at the women on the show, eyeing them for contracts, even if they don't win the actual show, become America's Next Top Model. A lot of these girls are going to get modeling contracts just from being on the show. But if they have tooth gaps or stretch marks or stuff like that, they were not going to get work. Again, it sucks, but that's just life. It's not going to change itself for you. I mean, Banks went on to say that while an agent was talking in her ear, instead of telling somebody that they needed to change something on screen, she should have championed beauty, inclusivity, and differences, and had agents handle whatever fix a model needed off screen after she wins. That's even worse. Like, you just want to tell them, lift them up, be like, you're so perfect. You're beautiful the way you are. You don't need to change. You're an amazing person. Now we're going to shuffle you off screen, and this person is going to be a lot meaner about it, and they're going to rip your body apart and make you probably want to run into oncoming traffic. But I was nice to you on screen, so the people on Twitter wouldn't be mad at me later. Yes, Tyra, that's how you should have handled it. Save your own ass, so that the Twitter mob wouldn't come after you, rather than just actually help these women. That's the whole point of the show. While the DWTS host admitted that the modeling show had made missteps in its almost 20-year run, she defended the intention of her and fellow series developer Ken Mock's work on it. America's Next Top Model first debuted and blah 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 to the CW, or was canceled in 2015 before being revived shortly on VH1. She goes on to say, America's Next Top Model was created. I created it to introduce diversity and inclusion into a world that was pretty much not representing that, or representing it in the most minute ways, Banks said. So that was the crux of why I created the show. It's why my partner, Ken Mock, and I, who's Chinese American, don't know why that matters. I don't care if he's an Oompa Loompa or a purple Martian, as long as he was a talented producer. We got up every single day, and we made so many inroads. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the fact that she was honest to these young women who needed to know this stuff if they were going to get work and have an actual career doing this. Twitter, suck it up. Just suck it up. Real life is hard. Alright? It's not some freaking cakewalk. You go out there thinking that everything's just a damn participation trophy, you are going to get slapped so hard, you ain't going to need to worry about no tooth gap, because you ain't going to have no teeth. Alright? So knock it off. My God. Bunch of lunatic children out here whining, trying to cancel people. So let me know what you think about this in the comment below. Do you think that she should have just lifted them up so that the modeling agents off screen could tear them apart? Or do you think Tyra Banks was in the right, trying to actually give feedback and constructive criticism to aspiring models? If you enjoyed the video, give it an upvote. If you didn't like it, give it a downvote. Subscribe if you like. I'm still getting used to the idea of anyone actually subscribing to hear me rant like a bloody lunatic, but you know what? I can get used to it. And I will continue to push for a regular output of videos here for you. So keep checking back to the channel, and hopefully I'll create something you want to see. Until next time, I've been Punk5. This is Punk5 Pop. See you around.